Welcome back to World Insight. Let's move now to our second story today. On top of pressing domestic concerns, US President Barack Obama has several thorny international issues to also handle. On Tuesday, the Israelis headed to the polls in their general election, just weeks after a 22-day Gaza offensive. The centrist Kadima party won by the narrowest of margins, but right-wing parties dominated the majority of the Knesset. It seems that no matter who leads Israel's next government, internal divisions are likely to tie its hands in any peacemaking with the Palestinians and leave Barack Obama's Middle East policy in limbo.
Israel is facing deep political uncertainty. On Wednesday, current Foreign Minister and Kadima party leader Tzipi Livni claimed victory in the country's general election.
There is nothing like this. It's not politics, it's a movement. I want to say something else to Israel, and it's going to be me.
Early official results suggested Livni's Kadima party overtook opposition leader Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party by a razor-thin margin. Centrist Livni is considered a moderate. Inheriting the political legacy of former Israeli leader Ariel Sharon, Livni favors giving up land to make room for a Palestinian state. But overall, exit polls showed a combined right-wing bloc led by Netanyahu gained the majority in the Knesset. The electorate gave the hardline leader the upper hand in forming the next government.
Forming a center-left coalition government is not easy for Livni. The price for her winning backing from right-wing parties will restrain her political ideas. If she joins forces with rightists, simply talking about ceding Holy Land could cut short her government's life.
Last September, Livni won a party leadership vote, ousting Prime Minister Ehud Olmert from the top spot. But following her victory, Livni failed to form a majority coalition, triggering this week's election. And she may not fare any better this time, despite her party having finished first. One Chinese analyst said it is too early to question Livni's ability in forming a coalition government this time.
Livni could turn to both Netanyahu and left-leaning Labour, led by Defense Minister Ehud Barak, to form a unity government. She once expressed willingness to invite Netanyahu to join the government.
But Netanyahu seems reluctant to make any compromise. He also claimed victory.
I will turn first to our natural partners in the right wing as I promised. And I already spoke tonight with the head of the factions, and we decided to start discussions for the forming of a new government.
Israel is turning right. Tuesday's vote confirmed the sharp swing. Apart from the close race between Livni and Netanyahu for the premiership, the rise of the far-right Avigdor Lieberman has also gained a lot of attention.
Israel is under combined terror attacks from inside and outside the country. Internal terror is more dangerous than external terror, and we should understand that and react accordingly.
Lieberman's Israel Beitenu party beat Labour, led by current Defense Minister Ehud Barak, to win the third largest representation in Parliament. Lieberman's most polarizing policy is his initiative to redraw Israel's borders, pushing areas with heavy concentrations of Arabs outside the country and under Palestinian jurisdiction. Those who remain would be forced to sign an oath of loyalty to the Jewish state, and anyone who refused would lose the right to vote. Now the two rivals, Livni and Netanyahu, would have a hard time forming a new government without Lieberman, and Lieberman is more likely to build common cause with the hawkish Netanyahu than with Livni.
Israel's right turn means suicide. We see the Mideast peace process has gone back to square one, as the two-state solution has tragically become unworkable. Based on the concept of land for peace, the two-state solution has been the central focus of almost all diplomatic efforts to end the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
The two-state solution would establish a Palestinian state in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, coexisting peacefully alongside the Jewish state. But the two-state solution faces grave threats. 4 years ago, when former Israeli leader Ariel Sharon decided to pull Israel out of Gaza, he failed in one respect. Israel didn't get the security it wished for. The daily shelling of Israeli towns continued and even intensified. Even 2 days before the Israeli vote this week, Hamas continued to fire rockets. However, Sharon did succeed in transforming Gaza from an Israeli headache into a Palestinian problem. As Israel is turning to the right, Palestinians are splitting. After winning elections in 2006, Hamas took control of the Gaza Strip. And the recent Israeli offensive in Gaza has strengthened Hamas's legitimate representation of the Palestinians. Although Livni supports the establishment of a Palestinian state, Netanyahu did the opposite. Netanyahu once served the Sharon government but resigned in 2005 in protest over the unilateral disengagement plan. During the campaign, Netanyahu said he would not ask any settlers to leave the West Bank. In November, he suggested he does not support a two-state solution. But while many worry Israel's right turn would destroy the peace process in the Mideast region, some remain optimistic about Israeli politics.
Whatever the tone of the relationship, it doesn't mean the policy approaches of the Likud leader or the Kadima leader will be that different. Netanyahu, for all his tough talk, was the one who signed many of the Oslo-era agreements, giving land to Palestinians in his previous premiership. Both Livni and Netanyahu are just dealing with the Israeli public and the concomitant Middle East reality.
When the guns fall silent and the dead in Gaza are buried, the question of a political solution to Israeli-Palestinian conflicts re-emerges. It is an old topic, and it also is a new one. Livni or Netanyahu, whoever comes out on top, the political wrangling is likely to drag on for weeks. And the eventual winner will lead Israeli-Palestinian relations into a new era.
Now let's stay with that story, because trying to extricate both Israel and the Palestinians from the strategic dead end into which they've maneuvered themselves will only be possible by outside influence. Israel's politics have always been greatly affected by US Middle East policy, and President Barack Obama is seeking a new way to deal with the Arab world, and he's treading carefully into the deeply troubled Middle East foreign policy arena. You're watching World Insight, but stay with us here, because up next we're going to talk about extreme weather right around our world.